just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind. I'm not perfect.
I can't see anything that I don't like about you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for being so patient. We're gonna move on into our first game here. Welcome back to another Goldwatch League stream. Today we have a match between Mei'd in China versus Team 37. And if you're wondering why the eye is so funky, apparently you can't put China in your team name, which I just now found out. So hopefully this works out for everybody and isn't a problem. Yeah, we should be online. Stream's coming up for me, so if everyone is ready to go, we're gonna hop right in. So if this is your first time tuning in, if you're first time watching Goldwatch stream, Goldwatch is a community of like-minded players looking to gain SR and improve their game knowledge and mechanics and learn whatever they can from the coaches in our community. And we have players ranging from all SRs in our Discord, so if you're interested in being a part of a community like that, then the link is down below. So we are going to hop right in here. Everyone is ready, so let's get going. First map is going to be on Ilios. Once again, I said we have Mei'd in China versus Team 37. And I have seen Mei'd in China play a little bit, and they have done pretty well. I'm interested in seeing how they have advanced in the times that they've played a couple of weeks ago to now. We're in the 4th week of the Goldwatch League, so we are approaching near the end to the deadline where all matches must be played. And then afterwards we're going to move on into the playoffs, the best teams of the best facing off against each other until one victor is declared. But for now, since we are still in week 4, we have all of the teams ready. Team 37 versus Mei'd in China. Mei'd in China is going to be your blue here up at the top with Cyclone as your team captain. And Team 37 is going to be your Swolorosis up here in red. So both teams preparing to attack. Looking at team compositions here, both pretty standard, sporting an Orisa on Mei'd in China, an Orisa and Zarya, and Pharah on both sides, and Yada on both sides, Tracer on both sides. They're going for a pretty standard pick here. Everybody pushing in, rocking those golden Tracer guns. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Both Tracers facing each other off, but Baby Klaus gets a really nice kill there early on. That is definitely going to make a difference in this initial team fight, getting a pick off so early. Diva nearly going down. It looks like all picks are going to be coming off on the red side here. That is Team 37 for you. Hold on, I apologize for 1 second. Look at all those chickens indeed.
Thanks for the assist.
Cyclone on Pharah doing as much work as they possibly can, but PQinator here on Junkrat unable to do much about it. So they're going to push in as much as they can. Pharah going relatively uncontested here, but not making enough of an impact for it really to matter whether they're being contested or not. Picks are still coming out on Team 37's side. Junkrat Tire comes out, but Cyclone grabs it and him at the same time. 2 rockets and 2 destructions. It looks like they might have a chance to take the point here. Rocket Barrage scoring 2, 3, nearly 4 picks here. An amazing work by Cyclone here on Pharah.
My ultimate is charging.
So just to start out here, we do have 0-0. This is the first match. Last week I know we did have some difficulties with that, and apologies for that. But everything seems to be working here, and if it's not, then I will be getting plenty of messages about it. Anyway, looking back at the game, Team 37 going in for this next push here. Tracer doing everything that they can, scoring picks. This Tracer doing absolute work against Mei'd in China. with really great tracking on Tracer. That's really what you need when you want to play Tracer, is to have that great tracking. Mercy using Valkyrie, keeping her teammates alive. Both Graviton Surges come out. One will come out Victor, and it looks like that's going to be Mei'd in China. Zenyatta gets away, trying to keep his team up, but unfortunately there's not too much that he can do, since the Pulse Bomb is instantaneous, and doesn't, Zenyatta's ult doesn't have anything to do with that. Cyclone nearly coming down to PQinator here, swapping off of that Junkrat to the better choice of Soldier, probably the best choice. That Pharah is completely going uncontested and making really good work. Tactical Visor comes out, trying to pick off who he can, but Winston keeping him contested here. Soldier being kept up alive by that Valkyrie. Swolorisis not letting any of his teammates die as they absolutely roll and crush through their way to the point. They're going to cap the point here, 92% to 48%. That is quite a lead that Mei'd in China has. And if they're going to be able to keep it, that really matters on this next push here. See, if they lose this next push, then there's a pretty fair chance that it's going to go 99% to 92 here. Psychotics trying to hold this point right here. Tracer Bomb comes out, doesn't score any picks, however. Isn't going to make too much of a difference. Psychotics takes out that Pharah. That is going to be huge for them. Missing that integral DPS when they're pushing in here is going to really change how this fight comes out. But Valkyrie comes out, brings them back. Rocket Barrage coming out, really great teamwork here. Graviton Surge making that easy for Pharah to get as many picks as possible. Not too much that can happen here other than Mei'd in China stalling for as long as possible. They've got 3-4 on the point, but Winston ult is keeping them alive. It doesn't look like that's going to matter much. Picks being scored left and right. There's only going to be one victor here. D.Va, Soldier, and Mercy, last ones here on point. A pretty fair fight coming from both sides. Valkyrie coming up, trying to keep her teammates alive for as long as possible. Graviton Surge captures all of them, and they're all going to die to it. This is a 92% to 99 here. Only one left being Mr. Winston, and he's not going to last very long at all. He leaps out, but his death is imminent. So 93% now to 99. They don't have time to make another push unless Tracer can survive as long as she possibly can. But that's not looking likely. Long enough for her teammates to get on point, but not long enough for much else. As Tracer goes down. And there goes Soldier, D.Va out of mech. It's not looking good. Winston being the only one left here on point, and he dies a brutal, brutal end. D.Va is punched and falls face flat on the point. Brutal.
Score 1-0.
So on this second point here, it's going to be a lot different because you have this environmental aspect. I know on the last point you did as well, but not too much as you do here. With the well being an integral part of the point, it's going to be a factor in every single team fight that they have, is this well. So playing with that well or against it is going to be the deciding factor here. We've seen once environments come into play, the advantage can swap very, very quickly. Swolorisis back up here on Mercy. We have PQinator on Pharah once again. That was an initial pick on the last map, but opted for a Junkrat instead. Both teams at the beginning sporting that Pharah, but it looks like Team Mei'd in China has gone for something different, and they are paying the price for it heavily here. But Winston is going to be doing a lot of work here, but not enough, as PQinator rolls the rest of their team, scoring 3 or 4 picks, actually, against Team Mei'd in China. These long-distance rockets even scoring a pick on the Mercy from across the map. That is really going to hurt Mei'd in China here. And they have 1 point on the board. It seems like Team 37 is doing the best in these initial fights here. Already having Rocket Barrage, taking down that soldier is going to give them the perfect opportunity to use that here. And they decide to. 2, 3 picks, scoring the 4th one on Mercy here. There needs to be something done about that Pharah. Winston playing nice and sneaky here along with the D.Va, probably going to try and get a peek here. They have opted for a Widow now. Onibaba playing this Widow. See if they can score that pick on the Winston before he hops away. Doesn't look like it. Ainun comes out, kills that Winston. Area denial on the point. There is nothing that they can do to get back on here. It is a constant game of being pushed farther and farther away from the point. D.Va even getting 2 kills here on the Zenyatta, pushing forward. As they attempt to regroup, they keep getting pushed back further and further, holding right next to their spawn. There needs to be some kind of change in team composition, and they don't have much time for it. They have the advantage in team score, though. They already have 1 point on Team 37, so this is already coming out to be a pretty matched game so far. D.Va Bomb coming out, scoring 2 kills there, right on Cyclone and Antiochles. That is going to be way too bad for them, really poorly timed. Only thing left is Roadhog, and Roadhog is going to go down. That anticipated D.Va Bomb completely shutting them down. They try to emerge onto the point, but are completely denied. That is a score of 1-1. Moving on to the 3rd and final round here. In my opinion, the most disliked map for Ilios. There's not much environment that you can abuse here, and talking about the well, really the well didn't make much of a difference. I mean, they weren't even allowed onto the point as it stood.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So looking at team compositions here, we have a Widowmaker on both sides, and a McCree on both sides as well. Zenyatta, so that's half of the team being the exact same as the other. See if Onibaba can score some early picks here. 1 headshot on the Zarya, that's half their health gone away. They're wary of the Widow now. Trying to zone out that Zenyatta. PQinator gets a pick on the other Zenyatta though. Onibaba getting the Zenyatas, both Zenyatas just being brutally murdered. But it does look like it's coming out in favor of Team Mei'd in China here. Nice pick. It does look like Team 37 is the one being pushed back now, but only 2 are left remaining to defend the point, Zenyatta and Mercy. Widow doing everything they can, but not having much advantage compared to a D.Va and a Zarya. Baby Close taking the point while the rest of his team pushes back Mei'd in China. That Winston ult's going to be able to hold for a certain amount of time. They're using ults left and right here. If they can get these 2... No, they don't score the pick on those 2. That's really going to make them lose this fight here. If there was any support for that Zarya, they had a pretty decent chance in holding that But thanks Obama, pulling out his ult is going to knock them back. Opting in for a soldier here and a tracer instead of a widow. Made in China hasn't made any change in picks as far as I am aware. But opting for that team change is the smartest thing to do when you're clearly being beaten back. Onibaba getting a really early pick here. Now McCree being alone left against a D.Va and a Tracer. He goes down to the Tracer, PQinator, doing everything they can to score some picks. But goes down to this Winston. This Winston has been rocking these games. Take a look at how the Winston has been performing. Just watching the kill feed is all you need to see. They have been supported in every push here. And they have been getting picks left and right. It is not looking good for Team 37, 15% compared to the 99. D.Va Bomb getting nobody. Using that Valkyrie, they go down instantaneously. Winston Bubble keeping that Mercy up. Not much Baby Close can do there. And that is going to be round 2 and the first game goes to Made in China. China.
Play of the game.
Play the game. Thanks, Obama. Really great ultimate here, giving Mercy even in Valkyrie mode. And that is the first point as we go back to the lobby. This first point
impressive,
going to Team Made in China. Hopefully that is looking right. Awesome. So we're going to head back to the lobby and we're going to be moving on to our next match, which is going to be a hybrid map. So let's see. Hybrid map, Team 37 chooses. So they're going to be taking a little bit of a break before we start. So give me one moment and I'll put on some chill music. We have Flufflepuff and the spectators as well. I believe they're either the coach or the sub. So if we do have to take a moment for a sub swap, it shouldn't be any problem. So far in that last map, Made in China had a pretty decent fight against Team 37. They fell apart there on the second map of Ilios, but they've moved on and ended up winning the final round. And keep in mind, even if the game goes 2-2, that is going to be the end. There isn't going to be any control map, and even if Made in China goes 3, we are still going to play all 4 games regardless. So they have opted for King's Row. If everybody's ready, we are going to hop right in here in a moment. Alright, looks like they are good to go. Oh, apparently he lives in Japan? Alright. If we're good to go, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Now entering King's Row.
So hopping right in here, making it to King's Row. Probably one of the more liked maps, I would say, compared to places like Hanamura or even Route 66, Horizon. This is going to be your preferred map. When we move on to 2CP, which is going to be the next match, we'll see what they choose. So, team compositions here. Made in China already knows exactly what they're going to do. Soldier, Reinhardt, Moira, Roadhog, Mercy, and Genji. A pretty decent team composition. Having that Soldier is usually really integral. Having a hit scan just in case for a Pharah or anything that's really going to be difficult to hit. And also having that Genji to be able to pick off in the back.
Hey.
Onibaba has been doing pretty well so far as the main DPS. That's what we've seen is Cyclone and Onibaba on DPS here. So where they decide to hold is probably the most important part for this initial matchup. Usually I see teams holding right about here, just in case that there is a Widow.
Defend objective A.
Reinhardt not usually taking his initial position. He does move forward just a little bit. They're going to hold right here on the point. And Antiocles already being taken down by that Widow headshot. PQ and Nader doing absolute work today as they're already driven off of the point. Genji doing everything he can, but easily going down. They are struggling to hold this point right here. Soldier doing everything he can, trying to drive Roadhog off. That's probably the most opportune thing that he could do. He does take out the Moira. They have a chance to take this back without losing it. They lost a lot of ground there, though. And that pick would have been absolutely essential. Too bad Cyclone missed one shot of damage that would have been necessary for that pick. So let's take another look at this Widow here. They're trying to contest the Soldier, trying to make an initial pick so that they can dive in. Getting a hit on that Genji and taking him down at the same time. Widow ultimate goes up, sees exactly where they are. They're already being pushed off point. Zenyatta ult comes out. Both Moira ults come out. Reinhardt's contesting each other. Zarya being extremely high energy, not too much to stop them. And they melt through them there. An amazing Graviton surge there that won them the point easily. Team 37, all members still alive, taking the point here. And that initial pick on Genji made quite the difference. PQinator swapping to Tracer as soon as he gets that pick. So now, since it's moved from a capture point to the escort, it is going to make a difference in gameplay. It's going to make a difference in composition and positioning. So Soldier is taking the high ground here. There's not too much good high ground that you can take on that first point. So it could definitely make a difference. He gets the pick on Swollerosis, and Reinhardt here as well. Onibaba scoring pick after pick in the back here. Trying to get this final pick on Moira. Good job for Onibaba. We probably will see that in the play of the game here. So they've got a pretty strong hold here. PQinator as McCree trying to take this high ground, but easily stopped here being contested. Locks him out of that positioning. Reinhardt with a huge Earth Shatter taking down 2 and 3 on Roadhog earlier, they're going to be able to take most of this point already. Cyclone trying to make it back to his team to regroup, hopefully taking that high ground here. Pressuring them off of this point is going to be their most integral step here. Because looking at ultimates, Mei'd in China has the clear and distinct advantage. Everything but Earth Shatter and Dragon Blade. And it looks like it's going to make the difference here. Ultimates, that's 3 ultimates popped here. 3 or 4 ultimates. Yeah, about 3 ultimates being popped there. We had our Moira, Roadhog, and Valkyrie come out. It may have been a bit of an overuse in ultimate, but it did stop the payload. Cyclone trying for a sneaky ultimate here. Maybe an early pick, whatever he can do. They're going to decide to hold all the way up here instead of the payload that they're going to be pushing around here. Now, in a Reinhardt v. Reinhardt situation, whoever wins the Shield Wars is going to be the most important part. And so far, as we've seen, it does look like it's coming out on Team 37, and PQinator going for that ult, not getting the Genji though, but then actually getting the Genji, completely shutting down his Dragon Blade. Cyclone shutting them down. Was really close looking there. Because we had Antiocles using his ultimate, and not too much avail, but Cyclone making the change there, being able to hold it. Team 37 has been a pretty unstoppable force here, pushing back Mei'd in China. Every turn, every team fight, they're getting pushed back. But Mei'd in China has learned to let them have some room so that they can push back with full force here. They have shown that they are really good at that. Moira ultimate comes out, as does the Reinhardt ultimate, but it doesn't make any difference as Mei'd in China just rolls through them. Swalorosis getting one before running for his life, and going down to a great kill by Onibaba. PQinator probably pushed a little too far forward there, but not too much he can do as McCree as far as mobility goes. Probably attempting to get back to the point. They haven't been able to push it too far here. It won't be too difficult for Mei'd in China to push it this distance, but the game's not over yet. PQinator, Swalorosis, my apologies, switching to Tracer. Both Reinhardts at war with each other. Each giving each other some push and shove. Onibaba scoring 3 picks here with the Dragon Blade and 4 on that Reinhardt. That is a team kill from Mei'd in China. Great work to them. What we probably could have saw different there is having a Winston on the side of Team 37. That Genji was a huge problem from the beginning of the game. His Dragon Blades were unstoppable, other than the one kill McCree got on him. But otherwise, every time the Genji would pull out his Dragon Blade, that would be 3 or 4 picks each time. We should have seen a change in team composition, and not just from the DPS. There could have been a change on the support side as well as the tank side. But we'll see how well they do on the defending side this time. We saw Mei'd in China gave a lot of push and shove. Whenever Team 37 would engage with them, they would give a little room, and then push back with full force. And it seemed to work out for them reliably each time. But we'll see how their approach is on the attacking side. They've opted for a Soldier and a Hanzo. 3 DPS, it looks like. These might just be the initial picks for them. We'll see if Cyclone can make any initial work here. but looking at from where Team 37 is holding, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make much work.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
If only human and Omnic could learn to live in peace here.
So we do have a Junkrat on Team 37. Junkrat in these tight corridors can make a huge difference. He is crazy in the meta right now. With his double mines, he can get picks as often as he likes.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Starting off with some initial damage here, already having 22% on his ult. Junkrat gaining his ultimate extremely quickly. Burning through that Rhine shield should be no problem. But Cyclone does get that initial pick on the soldier. That is going to make some difference here. And a kill on the Reinhardt as well. Scoring kill after kill. Mei'd in China has no difficulty. No second team fight needed. It has been a tough fight for Team 37. Roadhog.
Escort the payload.
A bit behind, just needs to die and get back with his team.
My ultimate is charging.
I would like to see Junkrat and Soldier taking the high ground here. Even though they have a Soldier and a Hanzo as well, that high ground is absolutely integral and makes a world of difference. And it looks like he heard me too. A strong contest though. Baby Close just decides that it's not worth it. They don't have too much room, but PQinator getting 3 here from that Riptire. Riptire being an absolutely great ultimate since the buff. With a great amount of speed, Junkrat is just a monster in this meta now. Taking out pick after pick. Let's see if he can get the Hanzo here. And he does. So a really strong pushback against Team 37, but if they're going to be able to hold it, especially since Reinhardt has hammered down, he scores 2 and 3 here. Almost 3 here. But it doesn't make too much of a difference. Onibaba, though, scoring kill after kill, pushing them back. 4 picks here. That is going to be enough. Junkrat and Reinhardt being the only one left. And Soldier as well. They're going to push back here as quickly as they can. But it doesn't look like it's going to matter. Baby Claws going down right here at the end. It is looking like the end for Team 37. They have 2 ultimates available, nearly 3 with Zenyatta. If they can make it, somebody needs to rush on. D.Va makes it. They're trying to push here as fast as they can. But PQinator getting 2 picks here. If it's going to make a difference, I guess we're going to see the usage of ultimates is absolutely integral, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to make much use of that Earth Shatter here. 2 people left. D.Va, baby D.Va, dies, and that is going to be the end of Game 2. Mei'd in China wins the 2nd round. Let's see this play of the game. I'm imagining it's going to be Onibaba with that Dragon Blade. No, Cyclone.
I've got you in my sights.
A really nice flank here. And the combination with the Reinhardt ult. There was nothing that anybody could do to stop him. An absolute monster. Great work to them. So we are going to move on to our 3rd out of 4 matches today. And our 3rd match is going to be 2CP. Once again, we're going to have Team 37 pick it, since they did lose this game. We will give them some time to reconvene and talk about what they needed to change. In my personal opinion, there were a few things that they definitely need to work on. For one thing, the usage of ultimates is absolutely integral when dealing with these payload maps. We saw Earth Shatters being used and having relatively no effect. Anubis, I am blind. So, for the first thing, ultimates. We saw Diva Bomb going out and not being able to hold for very long. We saw Reinhardt Shatters coming out and not being able to do much. So the use of ultimates and the use of positioning definitely needs to be something that should be worked on. So we are moving on to our third match, Temple of Anubis. So if you're new to this stream, or if this is your first time tuning in, I'm Wei, I'm the caster for today. And if this is your first time tuning into the stream, welcome to the stream, and welcome to Goldwatch. We are a community of like-minded players and coaches looking to improve their game knowledge, as well as SR and mechanics. And if you're interested in participating in any tournaments or scrims or pickup games, or just overall in Overwatch community, our link to our Discord is down below. Feel free to drop in, say hi, and if you'd like to sign up as a free agent for the tournament, you still have the opportunity to do so. So looking at team compositions here, Mei'd in China, this is going to be your red team now, Mei'd in China, since it did swap around. Team 37 is going to be your blue team. Team 37 has had it pretty rough so far, but when we move on to 2CP, we'll see how well that they do. These initial engages have been pretty good for Team 37 so far, and it might be enough to hold for the entire time. PQinator has had a pretty good run so far in DPSs that they've been playing, especially on Junkrat. And Junkrat on this map is absolutely phenomenal with all of the tight spaces on the second point. So as I was saying, team compositions, it looks like Mei'd in China has opted for a 3-tank approach and 2 support, with Onibaba as their main DPS on Widowmaker, which is a pretty interesting choice here. And it'll either pay off really well or absolutely terribly. They really need to shut down Onibaba if they're going to be able to do anything. And the trap, the perfectly placed trap, is going to make the world of difference. PQinator doing great work as Junkrat, trying to pop up there, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it goes high enough. A great sleep. Roadhog going down quickly. They just need to regroup here, especially Zarya. Losing that charge is going to be terrible for them. Getting out as fast as they possibly can. They need that. Team 37 just killing them left and right. If Zarya has a chance to get away, she definitely should. So popping back up on that high ground is what they need to do right now. They have the time to do it. They need to do it. Their DPS can hold in the meantime. Onibaba switching to Genji. And we have a second DPS here and a switch off of Reinhardt to a Winston. Tactical Visor comes out, takes out Cyclone here. See if they can pick off anybody else. Trying to hold this point. It does look like they're going to be able to here. PQinator taking the high ground as Junkrat, a really smart move. Wheel comes out, scoring 3 kills there. Tyre doing crazy work for them before he goes down to Onibaba. But it looks like the fight is going to be lost on the side of Team 37, even with an amazing 3-kill Tyre by PQinator. It is the DPS that'll take the point here. Onibaba and Cyclone, Pharah and Genji. So PQinator swapping off of that Junkrat here for a much-needed McCree. Probably going to make a pretty good difference against Cyclone. Cyclone and Onibaba being a really strong force in this game. Implicit going down really early here. It's going to make a difference in how they engage. Graviton comes out in a rocket barrage by Cyclone, scoring 3 picks. That is going to be enough for them to take the point with 5 minutes and 17 seconds remaining.
Score 0-2. Switching
Absolutely
sides.
rolled through Made in China, making a world of difference here. See, ultimate usage being coordinated and used extremely effectively is making the difference in these matches. Even though we have PQinator getting a triple kill with his tire, using it in good positions, we don't see much team coordination between ultimates, which is absolutely vital for these team fights. We've seen Made in China using that Graviton Surge and Rocket Barrage instantaneously with Mercy on that damage boost. It makes a world of difference when you use ultimates together, and Made in China has practiced that very well. And it looks like they've even opted for a Bastion here on defense. A Bastion and Symmetra and Widow as their 3 main holders, and you have Zenyatta and Mercy and Roadhog as well. And we've seen a lot of Zenyatta and Mercy today. They have been the key supports in each of these games. I mean, we have seen Implicit play on Lucio in the last round. And it looks like instead of a Symmetra, they are going to opt in for that Orisa at the last minute. Hopefully it's not going to cost them too much. So positioning here is pretty strange on the side of Made in China. Hopefully they're going to set up here on that high ground, but it looks like they're all setting up in different positions. They might have a strategy in mind that I'm just not seeing. Orisa and Roadhog holding up right here. Bastion deciding to take this front portion. So PQinator starting off as Widow as well. Mine being triggered. Trying to get this initial pick, destroy the shield, and get the Bastion. Bastion is going to be really difficult to push through here. Especially with an Orisa. Holding him still with that hook, Cyclone demolishes Winston there. Made in China definitely has taken the time to come up with strategies for the different maps that they are going on. And it really has paid out well. PQinator, an amazing headshot there. Grapples up to the top and gets that pick on Onibaba. That's a really strong pick. That might make a good difference if they can push in here. Winston jumping up. Getting this Bastion is going to be #1, but a Winston against a Bastion isn't going to help. The PQinator taking out that Widow is going to be a crazy advantage for them. Making the absolute difference here. Taking out the Bastion and letting Team 37 roll through them quite easily. They're going to be able to take the point here with no competition.
Objective A captured.
So it does look like Team 37 has gotten a lot better at coordinating with their team, especially when to push in, that they have been doing pretty flawless in knowing when to push in and how to push in, and having a good team focus. Focusing on that Bastion was integral for them winning that first point, and they made the strategy work flawlessly. Winning the second point is going to be a lot more difficult, though. You see Team 37's Sclerosis using Valkyrie, getting a pick on the other Mercy here. Winston keeping Zenyatta at bay, not letting him get on point at all. Ultimates flying out from both sides, every team using everything they have to try and take the point.
Let's coordinate our efforts.
It is looking pretty good for Team 37 right now. But they are falling apart. Antiocles on Winston, retaking the point, saying this is his land and he is not going to let you take it. Great job to Antiocles on Winston. That has been his character for the day. So there is one pip though. 5 minutes and 17 seconds for Mei'd in China, and they are quickly losing time. That is a huge time advantage here. But the time to strike could be now. Winston hops in with that Genji pick. But Death Blossom scores 2 here on both supports. And Cyclone finishing off the third person.
Starting over.
They're going to have to take the long trek back here. Mei'd in China may be getting a little bit greedy here, pushing really far forward. Even though they know they can.
You should be a
It's swapped to Junkrat and a Mei as well. It does look like they are changing team compositions a little bit here, which is definitely what they need to be doing. It's really interesting to see a Mei here, especially on attack, but PQinator hasn't made me doubt him before. Being stuck in that trap, we saw Baby close. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, just let me know. But Antiocles probably losing the kill on the Mercy and Junkrat due to that trap. A pretty lucky position to put it in. A Baby close goes down anyway, and they're going to retreat back to the point, protecting their Mercy. If you can call that protection.
My ultimate is charging.
So we've got a full stock of ultimates on both teams here, but the effective use is what's important, not the amount of ults each team has. And Mei'd in China has made it clear that they have been the best at using their ultimates together and knowing what to use when. So Genji going down here, 3 picks on the side of Mei'd in China, Antiocles pushing them back, being a terrifying Winston to play against. He says, "Diva, you are not getting away." They've had it pretty rough here trying to take this final point. Once again, a full stock of ultimates on both sides. The only ones being used in that last team fight being Winston's and Genji's, and making no real effect on the team fight itself. Let's see what happens this round. And a great ultimate by Cyclone, taking out 3 and then dying to the Junkrat mines. Amazing. I did not even see Cyclone there. This guy on Reaper has been making really great work. Each ultimate has proved to be absolutely successful for him. He needs to absolutely be stopped here. Maybe 1 or 2 pushes left here for Team 37 before they lose it. That first team fight that they had, or that first control point that they had, was a great success for them. Getting that initial pick proved to be really useful, and now it's not looking too good for them. Genji using his ult and going down here, but Junkrat going down as well. Antiocles being one of the 3 to be pushing on the rest of the team. But that's enough for them to take out their whole team. Only thing left is a Diva, and he is not going to let her get away. So maybe one final team push left.
30 seconds remaining.
Time's running out. Let's get back.
Riptire coming out. If it can score any picks here, he goes down though and gets the kill. Using every ultimate they have available, they are getting picks here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Not much left other than Diva, and she throws out her bomb, but no one is on the point. So Mei'd in China holds it at the last second. Great work to Mei'd in China. That is going to be 3-0. Like I said, we are going to be playing this 4th match regardless. And let's see this ultimate by Antiocles. Even with that rocket barrage, Antiocles takes it anyway. Luckily, we got to see the barrage regardless.
Right.
Great work to Cyclone and amazing batch of ultimates for this whole day. His Death Blossoms have been phenomenal, as well as his Rocket Barrages, which are 2 ults that are can be difficult to use, especially Rocket Barrage. So moving on to our 4th and final match here, let me just update the scorecard. It is going to be 3-0 for Mei'd in China. 4th and final match, and this is going to be a payload. Team 37, if they want to take a moment to review the game and talk with their team and decide what they want to do for the final match here. And this has been a pretty good set of games. We've seen a lot of push and shove from both sides. We've seen Mei'd in China taking a beating and then pushing it right back, holding for 5 very long minutes. So our last match is going to be on Junkertown. A pretty interesting pick, but not a lot of the escorts are very good in some people's opinion. So if everyone is ready, we will hop right in. Alright. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope it's been an enjoyable stream for everybody. If you'd like to leave me some feedback, please do so. We have a channel in the Discord specifically for feedback. So if there were any problems with the stream, or if you want to say, drop a comment, anything really, our feedback channel is specifically so that we can improve as staff members. So once again, thanks everybody for tuning in, and this is our 4th and final match. The game has already been won by Mei'd in China, so they do win this match today, but the final scores do matter. Oh god, that hurts my eyes. Okay. I'm sorry for that. Okay, let's do our usual setup of starting off with team compositions. We do see a Moira on the side, on both sides, in fact. This is a pretty open area, probably the most open escort map out of all of them. And this is a really nice community gathering here. Very cute to see. But a Roadhog, Tracer, and Junkrat are going to be your main lines of DPS on the team.
5, 4, 3,
and looking at the other side, we have an Orisa, a Widowmaker, and a Bastion. So it looks like they are going to be going with a Protect the President mode. They're going to be holding really strong here right at their spawn, completely pushing them back at the spawn. But they're going to be pushing the payload anyway. They're holding this right point. A really interesting setup here. Oh, that is a very strange graphical glitch.
No one can hide from light.
Okay, I guess we will not be spectating Widowmaker there. Wow. And protecting the president isn't going well so far. It does look like it's going to be a pretty strong hold here on the side of Mei'd for China. Widowmaker is making some really great picks here, already having her ultimate up and being on fire, but Widow isn't able to do much as far as pushing the payload. So they do make the setup on the payload, protecting the president. He's going pretty well so far, but the ultimate shuts them down. Cyclone with that free Riptire pick, that is the ultimate counter to that run, and he's back up. He didn't even have to walk all the way back to the payload. Mercy decides to be kind to him for doing such a great job. When you have a Junkrat and you're trying to run, just protect the president kind of composition, you're easily going to be shut down and it isn't going to work out too well. Bastion does get a pick on the Tracer though. An amazing Earth Shatter here, picking up 3 or 4. But Antiocles is only going to get 1 pick off of that, and he's going to run for his life. Bastion is not something that you really want to contest head on. They are really countering this Bastion extremely hard, running a composition that's going to shut him down at Tracer and Junkrat. Picks coming out from both sides here. Bastion trying to contest them from the back. A really great ultimate, but he gets booped off right before he's able to kill Antiocles here. Bastion being able to set up here, they're doing everything they can to try and protect him, and it seems like it's working out for him pretty well. He is being their saving grace when they don't have the Riptire or the Tracer Bomb. Bastion is going relatively uncontested.
60 seconds.
It is not looking too good for Team 37 here. Not being able to do much. As Bastion dies, they lose their pushing force.
My ultimate is
It
charged.
is looking for like a change in team composition here is going to be necessary. And that looks like what they're going to do as well. They're not going to be running that Bastion anymore. And it's probably for the best, considering they do have a Junkrat to burn through shields and that Riptire. Getting 3 picks there in the early beginning. Final push here, Rocket Barrage coming out from PQinator. They do go down though. Mercy being the only one left alive. Nobody's on point to contest any longer, so that is going to be a quick escort, not getting very far at all. If Mei'd in China can push to that point, then that is going to be the end of Game 4, and it will be 4-0. It's not looking too good for Team 37, but they have had some pretty strong holds. They did have some instances where a team composition isn't working and there needs to be a change, but instead they keep trying. So maybe after the first couple of pushes, you might want to change your team composition. So these are going to be the last 4 minutes of the Goldwatch game today. They have 1 minute to prepare, and it looks like they're going for the same tactic. Wow, looking at this Onibaba skin, that is a BlizzCon skin with the golden gun. That is probably the rarest thing you will see in Goldwatch is having a BlizzCon skin and a golden gun on Bastion.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Coming on the side of Team 37 for holding, we do have a Hanzo and a McCree. But looking at what Mei'd in China has decided to push with, it doesn't look like either of those DPS are going to be able to do anything against the Bastion, Orisa, Reinhardt, and Widowmaker.
3, 2, 1. Attack commencing. Escort the payload.
So they're holding pretty far back here. They're allowing Mei'd in China to set up pretty early. Ow, and the D.Va already goes down. It is already a mess. For Team 37, Lucio trying to contest, but only Baba is just going to shut them down. Bastion dealing about 520 damage per second. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But having the highest DPS in the game, you're not going to be able to out-damage him. And Protect the President coming out on the side of Mei'd in China. Relatively uncontested here. And that is going to be the end of Game 4.
Victory.
Congratulations to Mei'd in China. Now let's see this play of the game here. I'm imagining this is, Cyclone. With this Junkrat tire, a really great ultimate shutting down this Protect the President meta. You see them pushing in here. He doesn't even have ultimate yet, but getting one hit, that is going to be enough. Trying to rip out that tire there and score 3 picks. So great work. 2-team Mei'd in China. Let's look at that scorecard here. That is going to be 4-0. Congratulations and great game to both teams. Both teams did very well. And of course both sides have things that they could work on. And hopefully before this league ends, we will get to see some improvement over time. And I want to thank everybody for joining me and for tuning into the stream. I hope it was an enjoyable stream. And if you're interested in being a part of the community, if you're not a part of Goldwatch already, the link to our Discord is down below. Pop in, say hi in the general chat, and ask any questions. We are here exactly for that. So once again, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you in the next game.